After I finished getting Gina Carano pregnant, I then decided to make love to her again for a while longer until she fell asleep in my arms again after we took a nap for a while longer, and I held her tightly again while spooning her, and she said, "I love you very much, I want to marry you." And I said, "Well, since we are here at your dad's house we can tell them, but I have to ask, are your parents still together?" And she said, "No, not really, they divorced years ago. My mom is just here because she heard you and I are getting married." Meanwhile, Gina's mom Dana Casson was arguing with Gina's father Glenn Carano outside the door while whispering, and then I said, "Gina, I think your mom was listening to us having sex the whole time." And then Gina said, "Oh God, I can't believe it." And then I quickly started putting my clothes on, and then Gina said, "Wait, you stay naked for now, I will put my clothes on." And I said, "Yes ma'am," and Gina Carano smiled big and I said, "Okay." And then Gina got up and answered the door while Gina's mom snuck a look at me and she bit her bottom lip, and then Gina asked her mom, "Can I help you?" And then Gina's mother kept trying to look at me without my shirt on, and Gina's mother couldn't contain herself anymore and she said, "Oh my God baby, he's so handsome, can I touch him?" And then Gina's mom tried to reach out and then Gina smacked her hand and she, "No mom, that's my man and my future husband." And then Gina's mother kept looking at me until Gina closed the door and she asked her parents, "What do you want?" And then Glenn Carano asked, "Sweetheart, are you up here having sex with him?" And she said, "Dad, that's none of your business, I'm a grown woman and I don't want to share my private moments with you." And her father said, "It's just a question, I'm just worried about you because didn't you want to pursue a career in mixed martial arts, but now I'm sure you're pregnant, correct?" And she said, "Yes, I probably am pregnant, but that's not something I like discussing with you, it makes me feel a bit uncomfortable." And then Gina's mother said, "Oh please, you're a Hollywood actress, you're not shy, and I don't think your husband is either." And then Gina's mother opened the door to see me naked and then she saw my member and me standing there naked, and Gina's mother said, "Oh my God baby, that's a beautiful penis, that's at least 12 inches or more, that's a big penis, and he has no body hair, oh my God, look at his muscles." And then I smirked as I covered myself with a bathrobe and I said, "It's not polite to be a peeping Tom." And then Glenn Carano said, "Yes, you're right son." And then he stared angrily at his former wife Dana Joy Casson, and Dana Casson said, "Good job sweetheart" to Gina. And then I asked Gina's mom, "Ma'am, didn't you get married again or something like that?" And she said, "Yes I did," and said, "Well, it's not right for you to look at other men sexually." And then Gina said, "I am marrying him soon, you're all invited to the wedding." And then Glenn Carano said, "Oh good, I'll pay for the wedding." And then I said, "You can if you want to, but I can cover everything for her if I need to, right Gina?" And she said, "Right, but let dad do it since he wants to." And then I asked Gina one more time, "Are you sure darling I have the money to cover the wedding?" And she said, "I'm sure." And then I said, "Okay then." And then the next day very quickly everyone organized at Glenn Carano's house and I got married to Gina Carano. And then later that year Gina Carano had our 2 children who strangely didn't cry, and since Gina Carano had been training with me and I have Hanma DNA, Gina Carano is now very strong after training with me and she's powerful unlike ordinary human women. Her breast milk was able to satisfy our children very quickly and she said they are gorgeous, and I looked at them both and I saw a male and female, they're twins and they have my dark red hair, and Gina said, "They have your beautiful red hair," and I smiled at both of my children and I kissed Gina on the head and I said, "Thank you darling for your wonderful gifts." And then I kissed both of my children on the forehead and then they both cooed and giggled cutely and I said, "Oh how adorable little guys." And then I started showing them hand signs and shapes and I said, "Look, it's an airplane," and I made shadows on the ceiling that looked like videos, and I knew I always wanted to be a wonderful dad, something I never got a chance to do in my previous life. And then I named my son Baki and my daughter Jackie, and then Gina Carano said, "I like those names," and I said, "Good, because I don't know what else I want to name them, but you could pick their names too." And then she said, "Okay, maybe I will give them names, but honestly I'm just too tired right now." And then I secretly cut my finger and gave my wife Gina Carano some of my blood and it healed her very quickly, and then the next day she felt better than ever and I was now holding our kids in my arms. And then Gina said, "I'm ready to go home now," and I said, "I already set everything up at our new house."